Welcome everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. So, for those of you who might be wondering what this is, well, this is Dungeons and Dragons and a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So, if this isn't what you want to look at for tonight, well, I really don't have anything to say to you because we're not changing our schedule. So, for everyone else, welcome. If you're coming back from a previous session, welcome back. If you're new, welcome among us. It is a pleasure to have you with us. And for those who are there, but because they don't know why, well, it's also a pleasure. You're there, so it's fun. That's about everything that I had to say for this. We are not really big enough to have a lot of announcement at the beginning. We don't have any sponsors. We don't have anyone new on Patreon. We don't have any new followers since the last session, so yeah.
However, our operators are standing by.
Yes. You might even
Session brought to you by the letter M.
You might even have a gift if you follow. Yes. Our gratitude. I know it's a bit of a abstract gift, but nonetheless, you will have it.
That's a stretch goal for fucking gratitude.
Stretch goal to unlock our 18 plus content where
So so basically everything we talk about once the session is over, you know. You get to see the after show.
Yeah, the too hot for Twitch stuff.
Yeah. So, well, let's get started then. So, in our previous episode, the party finally managed to find the cause of the disturbance in the lake, which they realized was a water elemental. And then, after a few moments, two of the party members realized it was water elementals. So they did what they always do best since the beginning of this campaign. They drew out their weapons and they started hitting the enemy. And then trying to ask questions while hitting them. And surprisingly enough, there wasn't much of a response. So they just finished the fight. They managed to make a few good decisions, throwing off the strategy that the elemental had devised, helping them to not have to face two elemental at the same time. But they also lost the boat in which they were, which at the end they simply gathered up all the splintered wood, made a makeshift bundle of wood raft, and did their best to go back to shore, swimming alongside this bundle of splintered wood raft. And so, the party slowly started to swim toward the shore as the sun slowly set. Then they started to have to swim during the night. And as they reach the shore, they are a little bit out of breath, but safe. You are on the beach. The night has fallen. You are hearing the familiar night time sounds. Crickets, frogs. You are on a small beach where you know there is also a small pond, most likely Few hours up, and since you are close to a village, there might even be a pond near the village. So, plenty of room for all those interesting creatures which lives in ponds and swamps. And so that is it. That is all you have to know from the last episode, and well, a bit about what happened in general as the quests kept on going. Now the party has to decide what to do next. One already expressed a desire to classify this as done and let's get out of here before something else happens. While someone else did express a desire to know what the heck was all of this about. Is there more? What did they find at the bottom of the lake? Why is it there? You know, now that we killed everything, might as well try to get a few answers. So, you're all there on the beach, and most likely at the right moment to decide what you're going to do. Right now, or maybe in the morning. Who knows?
Just like Raimi is just like on his back, arms and legs splayed out, breathing heavily.
And
He doesn't do this that often.
And Vara can feel trench foot developing in her boots. Not having a great time.
It's a bit slushy when you walk.
Yeah,
oh, my
that's like
socks
a trench
are...
foot. That's up.
My socks. Oh no. I have to dry them now.
Well, that could have been worse.
You hear from inside of you? Well, that couldn't have gone... Well, that could have actually gone much better also.
I mean, sure, if you want to be all judgy about it.
Well, I'm just stating a fact. You know, you hit first and then try to talk. And then
I did not hit first. I gently lowered an oar into what I thought was the water first, and then I got sucked in. And then the other thing hit the boat, and then I tried to talk to it, and then they started throwing shit at it. I don't know where you were, but where I was, I at least tried to talk first.
Yes, well, that is why I am, unfortunately, here to help you with your ability to be aware of what is going on around you. Because you seem to be lacking the information that your team attacked first.
I got spooked.
They did not. No, that didn't happen. No, they didn't.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Denial is a river somewhere in the southern hemisphere of the world. But it's not here.
By the way, is
Raimi may have had initiative first, but he didn't hit anything. Nobody attacked anything until after I tried to say something.
You have two eyes, and I am the one who notices everything, with only one eye. Apparently, more isn't better. All of you are hearing just half of the conversation. You're hearing Fisher.
Oh yeah, no, Fisher is very much arguing this part out loud. Like, what do you mean you only have one eye? You see through my eyes.
What did you call the little thing that opened at the center of my sphere?
Well, yes, it's... I don't know. You still see through my eyes. How do you hear things? Huh? You use my...
I perceive things. Haven't you ever heard about crystals perceiving vibrations? Half of my making is crystals.
According to my research, you use my senses to detect things.
Oh, well, if you really want to feel that special, if it helps you go into your sentry rest every night, I don't mind letting you have this point, just...
The
These
worst.
two nerds going, actually.
Meanwhile, Rainy is like a little bit close to the shore, just caressing.
Man.
For those of you wondering, that is the actual name of the familiar of Remy. Don't forget, he is a Kenku and can only mimic things. So, this is the name of his cat familiar right now.
Well, currently it's an octopus.
An octopus with strange furry patterns.
Yeah, just caressing and hugging it. It's like giving it pats for good job.
You feel a sense of pride from your familiar. And he tells you he's having trouble breathing.
Eyes go wide, and he kind of makes a clicking noise, and they poof away.
All right.
All right, should we head back to the village?
Yeah, definitely. Not much else out here for us to do. We're not gonna swim in one spot for hours at a time while Fisher checks out the bottom of the lake.
No. We should go try and at least get another boat if we're gonna do that.
Okay, hold on a second. All right. With a 14 in deception, Rainy just suddenly splays back on the ground again and exclaims, "Oh no, it appears I can't move a muscle."
I mean,
It's dark, right?
The night has fallen, and it is close to the darkest that the sky can ever get when there's no cloud. Because right now you can only see one moon in the sky. One of the two moon. One is completely dark right now, and the other one is only half a moon. So it's close to the darkest that you can get with a clear sky.
I don't remember. Do we have the cart with us?
I don't think so. I think we left the cart because we brought the boat down. Unless we brought the boat down in the cart.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure you put the boat on the cart because I don't
Otherwise,
remember
you'd have
you.
to carry it for like 3 hours.
Well, an hour. The village is fairly close to the lake, but still, it's an hour walking with a boat upside down on your head.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we could just camp here.
But why? We need to go get another boat to do anything more anyway. We can't get a boat out here.
Are we doing anything more tonight?
I mean, not tonight, but I don't know why we wouldn't just go back. There's no reason to sleep outside.
Raimi said he's kind of tired.
If only there was a big, strong man.
Yeah,
Continuing the deception.
I rolled an 18 on insight. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was surprising because I actually can't see you that well since I don't have dark vision.
Well,
You
it's
just heard it in the voice that isn't his.
yeah. You remember hearing that from something very similar to a play that a few sailors put up in one of your boat trip because everyone was getting bored. And you remember that it was a bit of a parody, but you also remember what happened right after that in the play. And that Remy is using the exact same circumstance.
I'll say, Remy, there's a cart like 10 feet from you. Just get into it if you're tired. And you don't have to walk anymore.
Realizing the jig is up, Rainy like still kind of just like slowly makes his way over to the cart.
All right. I'll say, I mean, I just don't see any reason to camp here. Like, there's no reason to risk sleeping in the wilderness when there's a village literally an hour away.
Yeah, but here I can keep an eye on the water and see if maybe there are any more water elementals.
I assume if there were more water elementals, they would have came and tried to kill us while we were killing their friends.
They might have been. This is a big lake.
It didn't seem that big for them. They swam pretty fast.
Yeah, it's still a really big lake. And I mean, sound travels well underwater, but not that well.
All right. What did the other party members think? I think we should go back since we have to go get a boat anyway.
You just want to sleep on
Sure.
a comfy bed.
Listen, we've had a hard day's fight. There's no reason to live it up a little.
So Rainy like nods in furious agreement.
I think Ramy's in agreement with me.
I don't care where we go, as long as I can mend myself, have a slab to sleep on, and some oatmeal in the morning, I'm fine.
Rainy, realizing how dark it's gotten, he uses his last spell slot and puts it into his lantern.
Alright. So you take your lantern, you concentrate for just a moment, then fuse it with magic, and suddenly the lamp lights up with a light very similar to that of a light spell. Although maybe slightly brighter, because lamps are designed to amplify light. So.
Rainy just just hugs the lantern and just like settles down.
Fisher, you hear from inside of you. Yeah, there's nothing disturbing about an assassin using a lantern.
Say he's an assassin.
Well, he's small. He uses daggers and short swords. And now he is the source of light of the party. I've actually...
Thief, maybe, but like...
How...
The definition of an assassin is somebody who gets contracted to kill people. And as far as I've been with him, he hasn't been contracted to...
I'm pretty sure you don't actually need to be under contract for this.
I'm pretty sure that's what the definition of an assassin is.
By the way, Fisher, audience is still waiting for an answer, and you're taking it. So, just letting you know.
And I'm also just imagining just like
He's a little distracted by the annoying voice in his head.
Yeah,
I'm surprised the annoying voice
audience
isn't
is
just like, how is he?
just waiting for you to answer.
I'm just surprised the annoying voice isn't like, it's like, did you see him in that last fight? He was killing. But I guess he's not one for puns,
I
though.
don't think water elementals are people.
Oh!
All right, guys. I think Fisher's shut down again. Let's just go back.
Wait, you were
All right.
waiting for everybody. I got outvoted. Why didn't y'all just start leaving?
I mean, you
You
did.
don't have to-
She didn't care, but I'll take that as you got outvoted. All right, let's go.
go to the cart.
All right. It takes a few minutes because you're not exactly sure about where the cart was when you arrived. You did have to take a few moments to look around because it's the middle of the night. And you didn't actually have any tool to help you navigate in a straight line toward where you started. So it does take a few minutes, but you easily enough manage to find it because it's not hard to know, oh, we should go up, we should go down, and from there, well, it was left near the shore. So you find yourself all secured in the cart with the horse in front of it, still just waiting. And as a matter of fact, when you arrive, you just see him. He's sleeping like this.
Somebody want to wake him up?
I'll just get in the cart and kind of, do the thing where I move the reins a bit so he'll wake up.
Well, considering that when you get on the cart probably suffers from the additional weight of everyone, especially audience and Fisher. I'm pretty sure that just that is enough to just get the horse.
All right.
Right, so slowly you start making your way back into town. It does take you maybe an hour and a half because you've never made this trip in the middle of the night. So it takes just a little bit longer, but it's not that hard to follow the trail of everyone who came before. And also you have Remy shining a light in front of you. And Fisher, you often hear Tarana just go, I'm pretty sure that horror plays start just like this. You're just walking with a person with a light on it in his hand, and suddenly everything goes dark and everyone dies.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't on, we wouldn't be able to see either, so.
Well, she can see.
I'm sorry, unless you can see in the dark.
Well, she can see.
Yeah, but can the horse see?
She can lead the horse. That thing that you put in his mouth, it's called a rein.
It still needs to know where to... You guide a horse. It still needs to know where it's going. If it's blind, it's just going to, trip over something.
That's why you use someone to guide the horse. Someone who can see. Like an elf. Who has a natural ability to see in the dark.
Yeah, no, but you've had a body before, right? If you're blinded and somebody else is pushing you where to go, you're still gonna hit stuff.
A sailor
that's
who
much
screams
more
at the
accurate
ocean
than
gets no
driving a
useful
cart.
answers.
What I'm wondering with this is, how does Anvara, audience, and Remy react to this sudden conversation?
Is he saying it out loud?
Yeah. He's...
Yeah, and that is Ramey's response to this situation.
All right.
A sailor who just shouts at the ocean gets no useful answers.
He's really annoyed at Taranad right now. He is very much speaking out loud.
Alright, I'll pretty much ignore it then.
And Anvara?
Unv-
You're a
just
priest,
sit-
so usually when you hear that from someone, you need a pretty strong restorative spell to stop this.
Yeah, I don't think lesser restoration cures schizophrenia. Uh, well, I know he's been talking to like
Yes.
some with
They've
them in
heard the
some
demons in his head.
yeah, and you know that the dude like acts on his own accord and can talk on his own also since like when he had to substitute for Fisher. So I'm just like, all right, fuck. Guess he's talking to himself again. And I'm just looking at myself, making sure I don't have any worse injuries than I think I might actually have.
No, that's all right. I was just wondering how the group was reacting to what he was saying. But if everyone just says, okay, this is the one of those awkward discussions where we're not in, we're only getting half the story.
Yeah, like how do we know like Ternat isn't like the voice of reason? You're being unreasonably pedantic.
Because I'm me. So I'm right.
Is that so?
Okay.
Kind of absolutist, but okay.
Alright, so you spend the next hour, hour and a half hearing this odd discussion with Fisher and trying to have a discussion with him. But again, since you only know half of the story, it's hard to know who is actually right or wrong. Or maybe they're both wrong, you never know. You only got to hear Terranad for a few hours. Maybe he is actually extremely rude. You don't know. Alright, so you arrive in town and in the village. Starting to get close to middle of the night. No one's out. Everything's closed. Of course, the person in the end most likely has a way to hear that someone is coming, a bell or something like that, because someone can arrive in the middle of the night. Or you can just decide to just stay in your cart. Fisher does it all the time.
I probably would not stay in the cart. I'd probably go and try and, since they're still, it's decently early. It's not like, super early in the night, but it's, I could still get a good night's rest.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Like I said, the sun had fallen maybe a full hour before you arrive to shore. So now it's 2 hours and a half, 3 hours after dark. It's still before midnight.
Alright. Yeah.
Alright, so you all, well, at least you, I don't know about Anvara and Remy.
Alright, he follows.
Alright. Anvara, I imagine you try and go directly to the temple.
That's right. I'm saving those 2 silvers.
Well, we can't say that she is. No, actually, we can just say she's cheap. So,
She's a monk. Well, not a monk, a priest. So,
Yeah.
Living a lavish lifestyle isn't really her thing.
oh yeah. So, for Anvara, you easily make your way to the shrine and wake up the poor priest who is there in the middle of the night, just being woken up by a follower of some divinity, and yeah, I remember you. Come on in.
Hey, thanks. So, who do I give my wet stuff to?
Oh, nice. Is there a reason why you went swimming before? Coming
It
here?
was an involuntary dip.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you know how it is. Go next to a lake. Next thing you know, something pulls you under and makes you, swim against your will. Fun times for all.
Yeah. Usually, when a villager tells me that story, it usually means that something else was involved. But, you can have your own things at night. I'm not asking questions that I actually want to have the answers to. I can just go ahead, just take the room on the back and
Thanks. I'll, I'll be. I'll let you go back to sleep. I'm sorry for disturbing you, my good sir.
that's
Well, actually,
alright.
is he like?
That's why I'm here. Alright.
All right.
Alright.
And I'm just gonna fucking pass right out.
In
Well, actually, no. Just gonna sit against the wall and try to trance my bones back into place.
Alright. So, since you do need to take care of wet clothes, I would probably imagine that you do something like almost strip naked, hang up your clothes wherever you can, and enter trance surrounded by clothes drying off in the middle of the night, which takes a
I
long
thought
time.
I thought I had prestidigitation so I could like warm them and help them dry faster. I have thaumaturgy, so I'm just gonna let them lie down somewhere.
Yes. No, I know.
Dad.
I know. My house is conductive to noise.
Ah. Alright, so at the inn, you get a very similar response. You get the innkeeper answering the door in night robes and being very tired, but letting you come in and yeah, I know, I remember you. The cart's behind, so you just pay me in the morning, and anyways, unless you don't want to take back your cart and your horse, they're stuck here, so you can just pay me in the morning.
Okay.
Alright, good. And you just bend over the counter and you hear a few metal things cling together, and then he just takes out 2 keys and here are your keys for your room, and he hands audience 1 and Remy 1. Have a good night.
Thank you.
There's a little bit of food left on the counter just behind there. I'm not gonna charge you if you want it. We're going to just throw it to... we have one pig farmer here. Usually when there's leftovers at the end of the day, we just give it to the pigs. So, but if you want some, alright, it's okay. And he just goes back up, half asleep, and lets you to your business.
Alright. I will grab some of that food, and then I'll go up to bed.
It is bread that is slightly stale. A little bit of cheese that you suspect a mouse most likely took a piece of it earlier during the night. But it acts as a last meal of the day.
Yeah, I'm not picky.
Remy?
Raimi is kind of like putting out a look like he is remembering something he wished he didn't remember. But but if audience is just like sitting around while he's eating, then like Raimi just kind of like keeps near him.
All right.
But
You're-
then after that, he'll go to bed, just sort of like, just like, and even as he's like walking to his own room, just kind of like keeping his head just like a little bit until like the door actually closes on audience's room.
He's just there, peeking at audience entering. All right.
Like, look, he's walking around shirtless now, so I don't know what you expected.
Well, I don't know
Is
if
he?
audience is shirtless, but he is armorless right now.
Close enough.
You get a better definition of his body. All right. So, you go to bed. Audience, you finish eating your slightly stale bread and slightly hardened piece of cheese. Then you go to bed also.
Yep.
All right. So unless you are trying and sneak out of this place in the morning, you are going to be asked for 1 silver and 6 copper.
Even heroes of the town have to pay? No.
Right now, they don't know you're
Told
heroes of the
anybody
town.
anything yet?
Yeah. We just walked into his tavern wet as shit and asked for a room. That's all you did.
Listen, you might have been wet. I was gleaming. There's a difference.
It's not.
You know what? If Raimi had the words to describe it,
It's
you
not
would say
wet.
you were shimmering.
You know, it's not wet. It's hard work sweat. It's different.
My sweat just happens to smell like pond water. Whatever.
How many coppers? 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fisher, do you do anything else? Are you just staying in the cart? Are you entering the inn and just watching audience nibble on some slightly stale bread and hardened cheese? You just stay in the cart with the remnant of the boat that you had and Taranad.
Yep.
Alright, so you get... Well, actually, what kind of night do you get? Do you get a sentry rest night? Do you get a sleep night? Do you get a long discussion
Oh,
with
no.
Taranad night?
It'll probably be, yeah, a sentry rest night.
Okay.
I ain't sleeping. This dude said he could control my body when I'm unconscious. That ain't happening again anytime soon.
But you're starting to have a lot of options. You can sleep, you can sentry rest, you can have an argument with Taranad, ask him questions. I know Fisher has questions to ask.
Oh, he'll probably try and just do a peaceful sentry rest and then end up arguing with Taraneth about stupid, useless shit
Alright.
for most of the night.
So throughout the night, you can hear from time to time, "Shut up, you don't know what you're talking about." We didn't! Ah.
I'm just trying to sit here. You're the one that keeps starting shit again.
And so the night goes on fairly quietly. Except for Fisher, who just gets just enough rest to actually have his long rest while in sentry mode.
All right, we got our long wait. I actually have things to do with my long rest because I actually got damaged a little bit.
Oh, you got damaged.
I mean, for me,
You know, he's the only character of the group who my dice seems to believe he has plot armor.
Even when he's not wearing armor, he doesn't get fucked up. That's so dumb.
all right. I have to roll medicine check.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's a 15,
Yeah, that's enough.
and then 2 hit die. Right, so that's because I can use. Or did you say I can only use one? I forget if I can only use one or I can use both.
You can use everything, but you only recover half of your entire dice pool when you have a long rest. But you can, when
Okay.
you have a long rest, you can use everything if you want.
So that's 2d10? No. Yes.
For you, 10,
I have
yes.
So 2d10s
Plus Constitution.
plus Constitution.
Yeah, I rolled 2 hit die and went back to full, so I don't have to make any special changes.
Okay. I did not quite go back to full. I went back to 42. But that'll be good enough.
You can use a third dice if you want.
I mean, no.
Okay.
Two's fine. Yeah, two's fine. And then I recover. So then, do I recover 1 hit die that night? So then I still have 1 that needs to be recovered.
No, like I said, the hit dice recovery is exactly the same as in the book. So when you sleep, you recover half of your maximum numbers of hit dice during a long rest. So now you have 4, which means you recover 2.
Okay, so I recovered the 2 I used. So I'm
Yeah.
back to full.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Very good. All right. And then when I wake up, I'll quickly just, make sure I have no disease, use 5 points of my lay on hands, and go back to full.
No diseases.
I'm good. You know.
Did not get any water diseases. Or from that moldy cheese I ate. Gotta make sure.
No, I didn't say
You're a
it was
paladin,
moldy.
You're immune to disease.
I'm not yet.
Not yet.
Isn't that 3rd level you get that?
I think it's 5th.
Is it? I think it's
Pretty
fifth.
sure it's 3rd level.
Yes, I believe in your character sheet it's written defense, immunity to disease.
Oh. Well,
Oh, that's right, level 4.
maybe I don't know how my powers work, okay? Listen, they're not just naturally explained to me. I just haven't gotten sick in a while.
And it still hasn't dawned on audience for now that it's might be because of the divine energy coursing through him. He just thinks he has a good constitution, He's a dragonborn. Of course you have a good constitution. Alright, you all wake up in the morning fully refreshed on your spells. Remy, unfortunately, because you used the spell slot before you went to bed, when you wake up, your lantern has gone dark again.
He's sad, but he's happy he had his nightlight.
At least until you fell asleep. Anvara, you wake up and your clothes are drier, but clothes don't dry a lot in the middle of the night.
Fair enough.
I know, I tried. So, so they are still a bit damp, but at least they're not dripping anymore. probably feels a bit like when you put on a bathing suit that is not completely dry. You know, when you
Just
put the
cold
first.
and stick to the
Oh,
skin.
jeez, that's
All right.
soggy feeling everywhere.
Being a priest and discomfort come hand in hand. All right. Time for some more oatmeal.
Fortunately, it's the middle of summer, so it's not too cold when you wake up in the morning.
Great.
And I don't know why. I think I have one dice who just likes to make things harder for you, because it's a beautiful day. When you wake up, you do notice that the sky seems clear. There's no rain. The weather is slightly cool. And you have to talk like this because it's so windy today.
Damn it.
I don't know why it's a windy year.
Well, if it's hot wind, I should be able to dry off pretty quick.
No, it's cool wind.
Amazing. I have to roll not to catch a cold in the middle of summer.
I use 3 dice to determine the weather, and I don't know why, but no matter which dice I use as the one to determine wind, it's always a high number. So apparently it's a very windy year.
All right, let's roll for pneumonia.
No, it's the middle of summer, so it's slightly cool. Still means that when you get up, it's comfortable.
All right.
So you get up, you have to walk a little bit to go back to the inn, and you do feel the sogginess in your boots as you're walking. Audience and Raimi, you wake up, and you also realize that it's extremely windy, but other than that, it's a nice day. Fisher, you are in the cart. You have heard the wind starting to pick up, but you have also seen the sunrise, and you do know that other than that, and the fact that a goblin, it's windy enough that a goblin might get swept up by the wind. It's a flying goblin. It's a pretty nice day.
That idea definitely lightens his mood a little bit.
I'm gonna go find Bounty,
Okay.
the gnome.
Yeah. Alright, so you wake up and you...
Tell him the sad tale of his boat.
Do you eat something before going to find the gnome?
I'll eat one of my rations on the way.
Okay.
I have a million of them. Probably.
Yeah, I noticed you have a lot.
I switch from gold to rations. I have to always have way too much of something.
Yeah, so now instead of carrying a whole lot of coins, he just carries a whole lot of food. Alright, so as for Remy, what do you do?
So Remy wakes up, like looking out the window? Question mark.
Well,
Like,
as long
as
as you don't open it, it just feels like it's a very windy day. But you do that thing when you open it, and then suddenly it open violently like this. Oh shit! Yes.
I guess has Ramy's coat dried overnight or not really?
No, not really. Like I said, it stopped dripping, but it's still a bit damp.
Yeah, so he's gonna kind of unfortunately go out in the clothes that he normally wears under his cloak. Not cloak, coat. It's like difference. These are two different garments.
Yes.
and just like goes down to the first floor. Now, I would say does audience get up at the break of dawn?
Usually.
Or
I get up early. I am an early riser.
well, it's like I always have it as like Raimi wakes up with the sun for obvious reasons. So it's like probably notices
That
you going
rooster
off.
blood.
See?
Sorry.
See? Taranad was right. He is a chicken.
Terranet's taking over. Confirmed.
Yep.
And kind of like seeing that you're like going off to leave, like Raimi kind of like runs over and kind of like tugs on your arm.
Yes, Remy?
Just, it's like, where are you going, little one?
I'm going to go find Bounty the gnome.
It's like, oh, would you like to come along?
I don't know, would you?
Raimi just kind of like blinks and kind of like sinks his head. Then just like puts a small sigh, but then nods.
Audience goes, nah, I'm messing with you. I know that meant you wanted to come. Alright, let's go.
Nice save.
And Raimi's
No,
just
I
thinking
knew
in his
that.
head, and Raimi's just now thinking in his head, like, handsome and funny.
Damn, things just keeps getting better. Except for that thing that he seems to be attracted to women mostly. But other than that, everything's just going better and better every day.
That's not it.
Besides that one small inconvenience.
It's a minor thing, really. It can be dealt with.
Nothing minor illusion can't help with.
Jesus.
Otherwise, there are magical objects which can change that.
It's just like
I think
it's
there's
just like
such
just
thing as
happily
trying
walks
too
alongside
hard.
him.
It's Dungeons and Dragons. I can assure you that anyone with a bit of standing or the ability to go adventuring has thought about using a magical object to solve some sort of weird or really normal problem at one point. Alright, so you both get out, and immediately, Remy, for a moment when you get out, the wind is so strong that all of your feather gets ruffled up, and when you open your hands, when you open your arms like this, you just have to brace yourself a bit. But for a moment, you can't help but to feel, is that how it feel if you fly?
Yeah, it's probably precisely because of that feeling that he isn't immediately going to like try to use audience as a wind wall. In fact, as he's like walking by, just kind of like jumps just like a little bit, like actually like skip. It's kind of like a skip, but just like it lingers a little bit longer in the air.
Audience, as you look at this, it does feel like you see a small bird trying to learn how to fly and failing, but still trying.
I will, look amused.
Like does one jump. Dang, I almost had it.
I only stayed in the air for 1, 2. Damn, I wanted to get to 3. Alright, so it takes a moment, but since you have already been there once, you find his home fairly easily. And you catch him just as he is trying to gather his things to go into town. And when you arrive, you do see him struggling to keep his his hat on and just shoving it as strong as he can on his head, and then trying to wrap up something on the wall with ropes, like he's trying to brace them so they just don't fly off. And oh goodness, it's so windy today. Oh, hello.
Hello. I came to tell you that we have, I believe, dealt with the creatures, but your boat paid the ultimate price along the way.
What?
It's in half. Your boat got smashed in half.
Not again. I just finished repairing it.
Well, at least now you can fish in peace.
With what?
And he kind of like repeats the phrase again, 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 again,
I mean,
with
with your
kind of
boat,
like tilting his head.
once you get it fixed again.
It takes time. Oh, I better get my things again. Alright, we'll just get the boat at the back of my house. I'll get my things and try and repair it.
By the way, odd question after I just told you that, but do you have another boat?
No.
Do you know where to procure another boat?
I'm sure there's a lot of people who wouldn't mind lending you a boat in the village.
Excellent. Could you point one out to me?
Well, the blacksmith, I know he has a boat, but he mostly do blacksmith stuff, so he doesn't use it a lot.
Ah, we know him. We bought some spears from him. Alright, I will go over there. You got this, little man. Go and get him. Pat him on the back.
I'm a gnome. I'm not a human.
I mean, but you are male.
Yeah. Last time I checked.
Sue.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I will. But will he correct you?
I mean, I know that some creature can change during the night, but I can't, so...
I know, because you're a gnome. You
Yeah.
don't have that ability.
No. I heard...
Maybe looks between the gnome, then audience, then the gnome, and suddenly his eyes go wide with fear.
Oh, actually... the gnome just looks at you, audience. Why is your friend looking like he saw another monster? Is there a monster behind me again?
No.
Okay.
You're all good. All right, Remy, let's go get a boat from the blacksmith.
He turns toward you, Remy. He says, I hope you get your eyes fixed. They seem to become bigger without warning.
This is just kind of like shaking his head like they were like just like chasing away a bad thought, a bad dream even.
All right. So you make your way back into town, and well, actually, Remy, because of your high passive perception, just before leaving, you would notice something slightly different from the gnome. As he turns around and goes at the back of his house, he does seem to take a contraption from a small pouch that he has, which is fairly complex and which you would recognize because of everything that you've made and all the contacts with arcane object, arcane literature, and things like that, so that your forgery looked authentic. You can swear that whatever he has is heavily arcane in nature. And then he just goes behind the house.
Raimi as like their, I would say like presumably he like from that distance he isn't really sure like what kind it is, just that it's magical.
Most likely, you know, the way that it looked, it did look like some sort of wandy thing with crystals on it, which felt like they were so well made, they would most likely hold magic very easily. And you also did see things like that depicted on scrolls. So, a lot of element of familiarity with this. What it does, you don't know, but and as
I'm gonna roll a quick decision die.
Okay.
You know what? Just like Raimi is going to turn, because like Raimi is remembering something from the previous day, and he's going to like as they're kind of like walking away, and I'm assuming like as Lenore was walking away as well, like Raimi is going to turn to audience and reluctantly say, "You go on ahead. I have some business to take care of, Raimi."
Aunt will be like, "All right, I got you. Just I'll probably be at the blacksmith whenever you're done."
He makes like an okay sign with his talons.
Be like,
and
remember, if you need to talk to me if it's an emergency, I think our orbs can be used as communication.
He nods and like makes an okay sign with his talons.
All right.
Okay. So what? Sorry, I'm having so much trouble with my voice. All right. So Remy, what do you do?
It's yeah, something that was like that's kind of like nagging him. Pretty much is encouraging him to kind of like tail the gnome a bit.
Okay. Are you trying to do this stealthily or not?
He's doing it stealthily.
Then roll a stealth check.
Right, that'll be 19.
Okay. You're fairly confident that you are very stealthy, and especially with the quantity of wind. Sorry, it does compensate for a little bit of noise. It's easy to confuse something falling over for a step on a branch.
Yeah, plus he's not really wearing his coat today, so there's not like this really annoying flapping thing happening at this moment.
Okay. All right. So you follow the gnome as he's going at the back of his house, and you do see the end of the movement that he was doing. He takes out this object with crystals on it, and of course it's a gnome, so it has a gnomish flair to it. It also looks slightly mechanical. Make a perception roll.
Come on, Raimi, I believe in you. So that'll be a 17.
17, all right. Because of the wind, and also because he's not speaking as if speaking to someone, there are a few words that does escape you, but for the most part, you hear everything he's saying, and it's a bit of a mumble. Oh, I still have to do, still again and again. I hope the boat is all. All right. Well, what is it that I have to use now to this one? And he takes out an entire satchel from the bag that he had and takes a few tools on the wall. And all right, well, let's see. I can remove this, and he starts changing this object in front of him. He starts replacing crystals on it, and then adding a few gears, removing them, and all right, well, I think this is gonna work. Now let's see if I can fix the damage with this. Goes to the carcass of the boat, and all right, let's go. And you do recognize that this is a spell he's casting, but he's using the object to focus everything in it. And you do see something starting to move on the object. The crystals light up, and you see a piece of the boat slowly. And it's starting to fix itself slowly. Oh, this is gonna take so long. And just keeps moving his hand in the air and makes a few incantation. How long are you gonna stay there watching him?
He'll keep watching for at least another, like, maybe he'll probably watch for like maybe like the next next half hour,
Okay.
because he's still not sure about something.
All right. So the gnome uses this device that he's just modified and adapted, and over the course of the next half hour, you do see him mend the boat quite a lot. It's almost completely there. Unfortunately, from time to time, you hear him. They didn't find this piece. I'm gonna have to make something up with this. Of course, and they always have to leave parts in the lake, and always have to be the one finding pieces that they left behind. And why do they keep doing this to me? I only want to help them. And I have this order for tackles again. Well, of course, they always need better tackles. You know, I gotta attract the fish because there are not a lot of fish right now. Fish are getting spooked. You know. And he goes back to mumbling for a while. The half hour goes on, and this is as far as it gets. You don't hear any more conversation. Everything else falls to such a low degree that it's really just mumbling, and you just hear from time to time.
Like now, I will say, like, like with all of this watching, like, would he recognize like the kind of magic that is being used, or
make an Arcana roll.
Oh, that jumped right out. Where'd it go? Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
That'll be 22.
Yeah, that's enough. does feel like he's using transmutation magic. It falls heavily into that category. Changing objects, changing their nature, forcing things back together, altering elements of it to accommodate for something else.
It's like based on them like using this particular object. Like, does he get the sense that it is like from more like a wizard side of things, or from like a different kind of?
Well, you don't have that much experience with seeing all the different kind of magic, but with an Arcana roll like this, I'd say you would have at least heard about other kinds of magic user in the world. Of course, wizard and sorcerers those are the easiest ones, but you do know that there are artificers in the world. So people who basically combine object with magic. You also know of the arcane arbalist with their arcane crossbows, who also combines magic with engineering to create magically powered, essentially guns, but they called it a crossbow because there are no guns officially in the Shattered Continent. And you also remember about a few more obscure types of magic user. There's the heavily martial magic around the Blade Masters, and also around Fisher is one that is a bit martial. So you have that, but you also have seen one in the garden, a woman being able to use wizard spells with her arrows. So you are aware that there are a lot of connected branch.
Right. At least satisfied for now with what he's seen. Like Raimi would, I guess, make his way to Fisher because he has like a general idea of where audience went. So presumably he'll be coming back.
Okay. So Fisher, where are you?
At the cart.
Well, since audience brought the boat with him, he most likely would have needed the cart. So you are
In the cart.
So basically, you were left there. So Remy,
Sitting there.
you just
Nobody said hi.
you just come back to the cart and oh, Fisher's there. That's right.
And I'm not apologizing for this, by the way. But as he's walking up, like because he's not wearing his normal coat, you will see that there are like several like he's wearing his armor, and there are like several like slots for like the different daggers that he bought. So it looks like he's armed to the teeth. If Taranak has any comments to make about that.
Oh yeah, sure. I was just waiting to see if you would add something to your description. At the moment that you see Raimi arriving and Fisher, you just look up and you see him. You do hear Taranad say, "I told you he was a shifty character." And you let him in charge of the light?
I wasn't arguing that he wasn't shifty. I said he wasn't an assassin.
I told you, horror novels starts like this. You've never read those slasher novels? Where you got this person walking off in the distance and half of the party get killed by whatever crazy member of their group with just knives and keeps killing them all and using magic to shift around. And doesn't it feel
no,
like it's
I
him?
prefer to follow academic subjects with my reading.
Oh, that's right. You actually have a choice which book you're reading. Never mind.
I'm sorry, I thought this was the first time you weren't in control of the body.
I still always have to use what I'm given. If I'm not given any sensory material, I can only move. If I'm given sensory material, I usually have a job to do. I only get to do other stuff when someone forgets about me. You'd be surprised how often a wizard will forget a golem inside his library.
Is that why you're so annoying? You're worried I might forget about you if you don't shut up?
No, that's just you.
Damn.
Terranaz, an annoying anime girlfriend. Alright.
Maybe at this point has like hopped into the cart and just kind of is waving his hand in front of Fisher.
Warning.
Like jumps a little. Because he realized you were having a one-sided conversation and wondered if you even noticed he was there.
Sorry, Terranaz is slacking off on his job. Supposed to be helping me notice things, but is apparently too busy talking my... because that's not... What do you need?
I'm just waiting to see how far you're gonna dig yourself in. You're a classic case of projection.
Yeah.
So Remy, you do notice this little annoyment in Fisher's voice?
Yeah, he just like kind of like starts slowly backing away.
Hey, Raimi. That lamp doesn't talk to you, right?
Shakes his head.
You think
But
they'd
then
let
he-
me return Terranad and get something else instead?
Just kind of like tilts his head, a little confused, and just kind of like shrugs.
That might be wishful thinking. What's up? What's going on?
So I guess Raimi will just he'll make a very picturesque minor illusion of audience, and then he'll dissipate it and make a boat.
Fair enough. Surprised you're not with him.
See, he then minor illusions like a still shot of what he saw the gnome doing earlier, like in the middle of repairing his boat.
Mm-hmm. Is there obviously magic involved in this still shot?
Most likely. Fisher, if you want to make an Arcana check, because of your history, I would allow you to make it with advantage.
Wow, look at that. perfectly average. 16.
16. I'd say it's your knowledge of this is very similar to everything I described to Remy, with the exception that you have actually seen many of those because of the city where you've trained. You have seen artificers, you have seen the arcane arbalists, you have seen the kind of martial magic that can come out of different other class. So for you, it's maybe just a little bit more obvious that it is some sort of spellcaster.
Mm-hmm.
But you have mostly the same knowledge as Remy.
I'm kind of surprised he's just kind of living the quiet life in this tiny little fishing town. If he can do that.
Then he kind of repeats in his voice, like, they always need tackles. Like, the fish aren't because they're spooked away. Just start,
Yeah,
this
that's
snippets of
not-
what he heard.
That's not really a real reason to stay here.
It's like, well, Raimi, as long as you're with us, we'll always be family.
That's sad.
Yeah. I don't know. You want to ask him about it? Or do you want me to ask him about it?
So he kind of like gives you like just kind of like a look, and just kind of like points to his mouth or his beak.
Yeah, no, I get. That's why I reworded my question. Yeah, sure. Let's get into some trouble, and I'll hop out of the cart. And are we still right in front of this dude's house?
Maybe 20 or 30 feet away, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll walk up to his house and knock on the door.
Well, from where Remy came from, you'd know that he's most likely somewhere in the back.
All right. I guess yeah. Then I'll walk around back.
So, yeah, you get at the back and you do see him. As you arrive, you do see that he is using something, but since you are looking at him from the back, you don't see what it is. Are you trying to surprise him on this, or are you just casually walking in as if you had a request or something like that?
Yeah, just casually walking up.
All right. So you just walk in, and when you open the door completely to this small half enclosed place where he is, he jumps a little bit and sorry. And he turns around, and then as he turns around, you just see the end of a movement that went from his small pouch that he has on the side. Can I help you? I don't recall seeing you before. But, we have adventurers in town right now, so I venture that you're probably a member of their group.
How repaired is the boat currently?
It is in a whole lot better shape than when you got it back. It's still mostly 2 pieces, but the bundle of
It's
shards.
impossibly quickly
Yes,
fixed in
it
the
is-
past
It is
2 minutes.
not only that, but as far as you know, you can't just put wood back together.
Yeah.
Like it's literally been a half hour.
Yeah. You're awfully quick on those repairs.
Oh, well, you know, as gnomes, we're very efficient.
And magically inclined.
Some of us. I actually have a cousin who can speak to animals.
That's cool. I knew somebody could do that.
Most likely, it's also very common for a variety of adventurers like you.
Not so common for small town tackle makers.
Oh, I don't speak with animals.
No, but you fix that boat pretty fast. Maybe you should go into boat building.
Oh, well, you know, it's easier to fix something than to build something from scratch, you know. I just have to look at this and, you know, there's a little bit of wood missing here and there's probably there's something here missing because there's a dent and nothing that you brought back, which I'm very grateful for, fits there. So
Yeah, sorry, I was a little more in trying to make a functional flotation device so that the others wouldn't drown on their way back to the shore than
yeah, that would
getting
have
the
been
whole boat back together.
that would have been bad. But as far as I remember, I'd say you're. And he looks at all of you once over, and you're probably the one who floats the least. So they might have been all right. Then again, I don't know the circumstances of that.
Well, we were a couple hours offshore in the middle of the lake, and 2 water elementals came up and
Water elementals.
dragged me into the water and then broke the boat. And then said they had to kill us because we had magic. So that was interesting.
Because you had magic. Well, that was an adventure and a half.
What does a 22 insight get me here?
You noticed a huge spike of nervousness in the gnome when Fisher said something about the elemental wanting to kill them because they had magical objects. You've seen creatures poop on that level of nervousness.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
So yeah, that was one heck of an adventure. I'm still very busy, and Ethan starts fiddling with his hands a lot. I'm kind of a bit busy. I have several orders to fill in. You did say that you took care of the elementals?
The ones we know about.
Right. Big Lake, you know.
Why? Do you think there are any more?
Well, it's called the Twin Lakes, so I don't know. Maybe there were a group in each lake. Maybe just 2, you know, twins. do you have any requests? Like I said, I'm a bit busy, and whew, I just realized just how fast the time goes, and it's actually only been a half an hour. But still, time flies, and I have a lot of things to do.
Yeah, just I was kind of curious about that little contraption you're using to fix the boat.
Oh, he turns around and takes something from the table. You mean this? It's just, and he shows you sort of a half hammer and maul thing. Oh, it's just a specialized tool. We keep making things and
No, I've used one of those before. They can't do that. I was talking about the thing you slipped into your belt right when you turned around.
right. You saw that. Just a little specialized equipment of my own making. Nothing to worry about.
Can I see it?
Why are you interested in making boats or
I'm
tackles?
curious
or,
about magic stuff.
And you
You
don't.
show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Raimi has learned this phrase.
Oh, fuck's sake.
My bad, guys.
Well,
Think like that.
Oh, okay. He reaches down to his belt, and are you paying very close attention to what he's doing?
Yes.
Then make
or at
it
least attempting to.
Make a perception roll.
Oh, nice. That's 6. And 8 with Terranad's help.
Okay. Remy, are you also paying very close attention to what is going on?
I think precisely because of the result of his insight, he was paying very close
Okay.
attention.
Then you can also make a perception roll if you want to.
Oh yeah, that's a 19.
19, all right. Remy, you can't be sure, but where he is looking right now feels slightly off. He's looking in a pouch, but feels like his motion was longer than that the first time. But that's as far as what your result gives you. Fisher, you see him go through his pouch, and he takes out a tool, which is nothing like the one Remy showed you with his illusion. It is much smaller. It has a single crystal on it, mostly made out of something that looks silver or silvered. This it's just a sort of wand that a wizard gave me. It
Does it
helped.
look like a wand?
It could look like a wand in the sense that it's long, thin, but again, it has a very gnomish flair to it because it's so heavily made of metals.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the crystals goes
More of
at
a
the
rod.
end, but this one is on the side.
Can I see it? I'll stick my hand out.
Sure. He hands it to
How
you.
much is the gnome paying attention to Fisher?
If you, if what?
As the how much attention is the gnome paying attention to Fisher?
You mean between you and Fisher?
Yeah.
He's most of his attention is on Fisher right now. You get the feeling that he is aware of you, but that's it.
Can I
So
investigate
then,
this thing?
Okay, good.
Sure, go ahead.
Not roll a 5.
Nope.
You want to guess what that was?
A
Roll
4.
the 5.
Hey, look at that. It's a 9 investigation.
All right.
Looks like a stick.
It could be arcane in nature. The crystal on it certainly is of good enough quality. But with a 9, it could also be a fake magical thing.
Yeah.
Huh. This
While
thing's
the
kind of
gnome
cool.
is
Doesn't
distracted-
really look like what the thing Raimi showed me was. I was like, Raimi, what was that thing again?
All right, so Remy, what did you want to do before
I
while
call you out.
yeah. Because you would have time to do something, and I can clearly see you've been trying to say that Remy does something.
Oh yeah, it's just like he literally looked for the opportune moment here, and he like basically my idea here is like with a little help from an invisible friend, he's going to see if he can actually pocket out the actual item that was inside of the bag.
Okay. So I imagine you're using your mage hand.
Yeah, mage hand.
Okay. So make a sleight of hand check with your mage hand.
That'll be a 19.
19. All right.
That was scary. You took way too long on that 9.
Yeah, no, I was like, what? How?
All right. So you reach out and the bag make a perception roll. That's going to allow me to see which of the bag, pouch and everything that he has on his belt you're going for.
Okay. That is a nat 20. So total roll, what's 27?
All right. So yeah, you because of your image and because of your ability to recall clear image and just make minor illusion without anyone looking, you just make a small minor illusion in your hand and you look at his image, and just before reaching for the exact pouch where in your image you see him take his hand in and okay, this is the pouch. Close the image, send your hand, and you just scoop it out, and he doesn't seem to realize anything. You have it in your hand, and at that moment you realize that Fisher just pronounced your name.
This has in hand, just like looks up to Fisher, hands behind his back.
Like a small kid trying to hide the fact that he stole a piece of candy. You know?
Yeah, Raimi, you want a minor illusion, that little thing you showed me earlier?
takes out his free hand and minor. Basically, he actually like just minor illusions, like the exact still image of him operating with the item in the boat.
Yeah, that thing.
Oh boy. Oh Christ. Let's go.
gnome stunned.
I. Fisher, make an insight roll, and Remy also.
That's the one I rolled okay on.
Need to get
That's a 13 minus 1, so 12.
Come on, Raimi, I believe in you. That'll be a 13.
All right. So, Fisher, you said your result was
12.
12. So 12 and 13.
Yes, the people are doing the interrogation right now.
All right. So you watch at the gnome, his eyes darting left and right and just looking frantically around himself, and this is where we're going to take our break.
Roll initiative.
No, and most likely when we come back from the break, because we've been spending so much time with Fisher and Remy, we're gonna see what Audience and Anvara have been doing for the last half an hour.
Let's check out what the rest of the gang is up to.
DM code for we're screwed. He's gonna see where everybody else is
All right.
before shit hits the fan.
Oh dear. Oh fuck.
All right. So we're gonna go on the break. We're gonna be back in roughly 10 minutes, between 10 and 13 minutes. So see you all back after the break. Bye. Aha! Welcome back, everyone. Sorry this took a few more minutes than I said. But we are back, and if you're still there, well, you're gonna get to see the second half of the show. So, sit down. I hope you have a good sandwich and something to drink. Or, chips. Depends on where you are, when you are, and all of that. So, while on one side of the village, we had Fisher and Remy corner a poor gnome and basically bullying him into admitting something that they are sure he needs to admit. We have, on the other side of the town, and this is where usually when you're looking at a cartoon or a movie or you see in written bold letters, it's in the middle of the screen. Meanwhile, we have Audience, who is coming back into town after having given the boat back to the gnome and going to the blacksmith to get a second boat. Audience, you would be about, same time as Anvara would be coming out of the shrine, belly full of oatmeal, still damp from the night before, but coming out seemingly happy with sleeping on a slab of stone and eating, I'd almost want to say dry oatmeal because she's a bit tired of things that are damp right now. So
I don't know if it dries up and gets hard enough. I can give oat cakes to the horse.
Alright. So do I see her?
yeah, she's coming out of the shrine, and the shrine is at the center. Usually the center of a small village is an inn, a worshipping place, and a place where you can have things made, tools and things like that. So the blacksmith would be there, and somewhere in there's a huge empty place where everyone goes there in the morning to sell and buy stuff, and then it just get dismantled by the end of the day. And
Alright.
so
I will say, hey, morning.
Good morning.
I'm off to the blacksmith to get another boat. Want to come with?
For sure. Have you seen the others?
Yes. They were over. I went over to tell the gnome. I'm forgetting his name right now. Just said it. Bounty. Went over to tell Bounty about how we broke his boat, and then Remy said that he was off to do some business, and I don't know. Fisher seemed like passed out in the cart, so.
All right. Yeah, of course. We should probably get that done. Make sure we got our job, e-boy, for English coming out. Our job properly done.
All right.
Don't be ashamed of that.
It might be the next character's accent. Watch out.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
All right. So we go over to. I guess we'll keep going on to the blacksmith then.
Yep.
All right. All right. So, well, when you get to the blacksmith, unfortunately, it is very early in the day, so his shop isn't open, but you do manage to see him leaving, and he is briskly walking toward. Well, I'd say, actually, if you just said hello to Anvara, most likely walking toward you, because he is going to the temple.
I'll say, oh, hey, we were looking for you.
Oh, you were? Okay. For good reason,
Yes.
I hope?
Yes, we were wondering if we could, we have slain the creatures in the water, but we need another boat as they destroyed our first one too. We think there may be an item that possibly caused the initial disturbance at the bottom of the lake, so we were wondering if we could borrow your boat, because apparently you don't use it that much.
Okay. That's a lot of information. Some of it I'm happy for. Some of it I have questions. And who told you about my boat?
Bounty did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know. Serves me for talking to a gnome about what I have. Alright, so why do you want the boat?
Oh, just so we can go back out onto the lake and retrieve the item, possibly cause any further disturbances from happening here.
Okay. You're sure there's no more monsters? Because there have been a few boats who have been damaged. People brought them to my brother to have holes in their boat fixed.
No, we definitely killed all the monsters.
All right. Okay. Mind paying a small insurance?
I could pay a small insurance if you don't feel comfortable just lending us the boat for a day to help out your town.
Well, it's not that I'm uncomfortable.
Guilt trip.
Well, it's not, and he looks at you from head to toe, and Anvara, and well, it's not that I don't trust you, but you could have missed the monster, and if it attacks, well, it's my boat.
I mean, there were two of them, and they seemed to be, working together, and we killed. So I assume if there was more, they would have probably came when we were weakened in the water. So I doubt there's any more.
Well, we thought there was only one. And I just learned that there were two. So who knows? Maybe someone learned that there were 3 of them. He, you can understand why it's. I'm convinced you are convinced that there's no more danger, but then again, you also said that there's might be something in the lake causing the problem, and who knows? It could create a maelstrom and swallow the boat and you with it, and lightning could be involved. I don't know. I don't do a lot of magic. I don't know what can happen with magic.
Do I see if he's wearing a holy symbol on him? Since you said he was walking towards a temple.
Not a holy symbol in the sense of a priest.
No, but I mean like someone would wear a cross on their necklace.
Okay. Yeah. Hold on. I haven't finished.
You see, you guilt trip him on the normal level. I'm gonna guilt trip him on a spiritual level. Man, would suck if someone put in a bad word for you up above, huh?
It's horrible.
He didn't do anything wrong.
It's like, now, my son, does that seem like the right decision to make?
I think I can only call him brother. I don't think I'm a mother of anything.
So
in between your turn.
Yeah, you do see a small emblem near. I was gonna say his cloak, but it's so windy, it's probably whipping like this right now. So you can see on his clothes what looks like a small brooch, and you would know that this represents Algater, one of the main 3 deities of the world.
All right, and would I know who?
Oh yes, everyone knows about the 3 deities, but since I haven't figured out their 3 names yet, it's the only one that I can mention on the stream. Algater represents the light. He is also called the all-seeing light. He represents everything that is lawful good.
Okay. I hate being a dick, but what was the last thing he'd said to audience, just so I can resituate myself after what?
It's not that he doesn't trust you, but since there were so many factors that he didn't know about all that was happening inside the lake, he's still nervous about just landing the boat because something magical could happen, and when magic is involved, you never know.
My brother, worry not about your boat, for it is material. Our lives are far more precious than a boat, wouldn't you say? Look, you don't have to trust that we will keep it safe. Trust that the gods will keep us safe. And everything will be okay. Your boat will surely come back in one piece.
Well, make a persuasion roll.
Oh man!
Unless you have reason to believe the gods wouldn't favor you.
Yeah, why would it? Yeah, persuasion. Oh, yeah. Fucking 17. Let's go.
How much?
18 minus 1.
17.
Oh yeah, charisma. Sorry.
Where's my dumb stat? Let's go.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
nobody ever needs that, and
Yeah, no.
every
I'm a
person in the world who likes playing a bard will send me hate mail for this.
I'm a priest. Like charisma is obviously a dumb stat. That and intelligence. The fuck.
Who needs that? All right, so
Who needs to talk to people when you could just kill them?
The only person I talk to is God, so I don't give a shit.
well, I'm actually not a god. I don't know everything inside the world. Listen, I'm not. I don't mind lending you my boat. I just want to be sure that if you wreck it, I can buy or have another one built. You can understand that, right?
Well, I am trying to stay lawful good. That was pushing
There
the
it is.
boundaries there.
He seems to be getting a little bit more desperate in his argument.
All right.
You could probably wear him down, but you might have to go a little bit further than that.
Yeah.
There is a sense of pleading in the way that he just said that. So,
How much would this deposit be exactly? Because we're trying to ensure like that your fishermen can fish after all.
well, yeah, I know. How about how about 5 gold?
That's all a boat costs. Fuck, I feel bad for negotiating.
It's just insurance that he wants. He didn't say he wanted enough money to buy a boat.
All right. Yeah, and with magic gnome, they could just fucking mend boats out of nothing. Yeah, sure. All right, here, I'll hand him 5 gold. Thank you for having faith in us.
It's probably better that you did. He might have gotten a little annoyed at my very heavy coin purse and the fact that I was.
Yes,
you
Raimi
ask
can't
for
help
the
but
jinglets.
admire the size of your coin purse.
In both sense of the words.
Hmm.
Why does Electrum exist? It's so stupid. Anyways, I give him the.
All right. Oh, so where's your boat? We can go pick it up.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just at the back of the of my working place. You just go behind, and it's secured on the wall. I presume you can untie ropes, and he looks at your sword without damaging it.
Yep.
Okay.
I've been working with knots recently.
All right. He looks at you, and he does sense the little bit of pride that you just said in that, and he looks at you and all right. That is good to know. Everyone should learn to do knots. Okay, I just need to do my morning prayers with everyone, and I trust that you not wreck anything else. See you later.
Promises are only words, my brother.
Yes, but with magic, words can have weight.
That's fair. That's actually very.
Audience is already walking towards the shop.
Oh, in that case, he
The
looks.
cleric and the paladin, and you're discouraging the weight of words. That's like
Yeah, words are only words. Don't worry about it.
promises are what you do.
Audience has already figured out this guy's probably not going to join the dragon faith, and he doesn't have time to talk to him.
So,
Like, audience has already made the one promise he only needs to make: the promise to the dragon.
that's all he needs. So, Anvara, you're left with the blacksmith, and just as you see audience starting to move away, the blacksmith looks at you and says, he actually was proud of saying that he knew how to tie knots, wasn't he?
Yeah, if you'll notice, his boots are tied with straps. It's been like that for a long time until he learned how to do knots.
I see. Well, I hope you won't mind me saying this, but I hope you're the one rowing.
Yes, of course. Of course I am. Who else would it be? All right, so I'll make sure he unties it gracefully. So live long and prosper. I'll see you later.
Were you honest when you said that you would row? If you're not, I'd like to have you make a deception roll.
I'm gonna get.
I'm the best rower here. I don't know what this blacksmith's talking about.
I'm gonna get excommunicated from my church for
Actually,
lying.
probably Fisher.
About fucking
Fisher's
religion.
probably
Shit.
the best rower.
Deception, you said.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. Well, that's gonna be a 2 minus 1, so a 1.
It's like, looks at your arms.
Mm-hmm.
No, you said it in a way that was so convincing that you see the blacksmith jaw just go slack and...
So, yeah, good luck. Hope that 5 gold covers it.
Yeah, I hope so also.
I'll just strut along and make my way to the audience.
The man is like, I'm never seeing my boat again if she's the one rowing.
Tries to row the boat, pops her shoulder out of the place. Look.
Alright. So, you easily get the boat and you... I lost one window. It's the window where I had stats.
Well,
there
I
you
guess
go.
we'd probably start taking it back towards Bounty's house because that's where the cart was. And we don't want to be carrying a boat around. Since we had the boat. Because we left the cart there. Because Fisher was just chilling in it.
You really get to need your cart sorted out. So, alright, so you head back toward the house.
Carrying a boat on our heads.
With the wind, you also feel that lift from every once in a while. On Vara, you feel your feet just leaving because of the lift that the wind causes on the boat because you're just walking around with a boat on your
I'm
head.
actually hanging onto the boat while audience is just lifting it.
Just holding it down the back end.
Actually, yeah, what is the height? If I have it on my shoulder, that's going to be a little bit awkward for you.
She's
I'm
pretty
6'2".
tall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also-
Okay. It's not the worst. It's a little
Yeah,
awkward.
she rolled max height.
No,
I'm only 7 feet. I'm only 8 inches taller than you.
so
What's that?
the difference is that
It's-
audience literally has the sides of the boat on his shoulders and his arms are bended almost at a 90-degree angle and his head is almost touching the inside of the boat while Anvara, her arms are mostly stretched out and she's walking like this. And you can feel the lift of the boat every once in a while. But, audience has armors and coins and food and himself. So he is a pretty grounding force.
Yeah, his legs must be like hella strong.
With his strength? Yeah. You've seen animals who had legs thinner than his.
I'm sure I have. Deer exist.
So you mostly make your way back to where the cart is. However, while you're making your way back to the cart, Fisher and Remy, you are faced with a gnome whose eyes are just darting around because he basically feels like he's about to be well, that the world isn't very nice to him. And this is it. Alright, so the gnome is frozen for a moment in front of both of you. And he just... He looks at you and... listen, I really don't want any problems with you. You obviously, I'm not doing anything wrong. Why are you insisting like this?
I mean, it's just there's obviously something magical going on with that lake, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it, and you've obviously got some magical prowess to you, which is interesting, seeing where you live. So, we're just doing some investigating.
Why?
Just want to get to the bottom of it.
I don't know why, but I feel like you're supposed to hear Taranad chuckle every time you say you need to get to the bottom of this lake mystery. I didn't do anything. I even lent you my boat.
Well, then what? Why are you hanging out here if your talents could lead you, I don't know, a more fruitful life somewhere else?
Because I'm not looking for a more fruitful life. I like it here.
Okay. In that case, how good are you?
How good?
Building stuff. Tinkering.
I'm a gnome. It's what I do. Have you met a lot of gnomes who don't like building?
I'll, do you have anything that could help somebody breathe underwater?
Why?
'Cause there is a big old caverny thing under the lake that we want to go check out, and I'm the only one that doesn't have to breathe, so right now I don't really want to go down there by myself.
Okay.
Or
well,
I do, but it's probably not the best idea.
well, I can see the dilemma you're facing with this. Oh, goodness. I can have something prepared. but it's
Be a good way to prove to us that you're not up to anything fishy.
from inside of you. You hear again a chuckle.
Now, I believe that the gnome said this actually said this out loud. So just really quickly, Raimi is going to again with his free hand minor illusion one of the water elementals that they encountered. Repeat what the gnome said in his voice. Seem to be attracted to magical objects. And then minor illusions the tackle box that they had recovered from the lake.
All right.
Okay, Detective Raimi.
Oh shit! I didn't put that together. Pretty good one.
Too bad he can't fucking talk.
So, Remy, I'd go. You're still. All right. Your perception roll. I think you rolled a 13. You said.
Oh, the insight
Oh, that was
was a 13.
the insight was 13. Perception was a bit further than that.
Was that the net 20?
I think the nat 20 was figuring out where the one object was, but I think the other perception he rolled was a 19. So it's either 27 or 19. I haven't rolled that many perceptions.
That's all right. All right. Well, since nothing else has happened since, you can still be on the same roll. Remy, you do notice while the gnome starts talking, you also notice that one of his hand is slowly reaching out toward a pouch on the other side of his body. But this happens while he's giving the answer that I'm gonna give.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, people. I don't want to be blamed for this. And this is what you're doing right now. If you do this in front of everyone, I'm never gonna have a chance to say something. Have you ever had to run away from a mob? You just accused me of using objects that attracted these creatures.
Randy is going to point to his house and then put up his finger. Shh.
I think he means we can have this conversation inside if you'd be more inclined.
Do we have a choice?
I mean, you didn't say no.
Remy, you have a high enough passive perception to realize that the gnome is not only scared right now, but he feels like he's being bullied into a dark alley.
Well, since this always makes Raimi feel better, it's like he minor illusions a rainbow.
Yeah, sure, because everyone reacts well to more colors.
Just has a seizure.
Although he is, you know what? Since this is probably something that was said to him at some point, it's like, and this gnome is also shorter. It's like he's actually going to like put a hand on him and say, "It's like it's okay, Raimi. No one's in trouble. Just tell me what happened."
Nothing happened. I didn't know about all of these.
Well, then, is there anything else you do know that you haven't told us yet?
I like my fish raw.
Anything applicable? Also, that's not healthy. I don't even eat, and I know you're supposed to cook that.
It's alright if you eat it within the hour after you fished it.
I mean,
Actually,
I guess
Raimi will
so.
actually like raise a hand in confirmation of this.
Listen, I'm not doing anything wrong. And Raimi, you notice that he is clasping on something in one of his pouch, tighter and tighter and tighter. You actually see sort of the tension in his arm, in that arm that is slightly hidden. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't know about any of this. I don't have anything else to say or...
Well, then, how about you let us borrow that thing you had that can help someone breathe underwater, and we can go confirm that. And make sure that, you know, that was the last of the water elementals and the town is safe. You want that, don't you?
Sure. But I don't have it right now. I have to make it.
What would it take to make it?
A few hours?
If you had help, would it go faster?
Not really.
Fair enough. How much would you usually make making / selling those tackles you make in the next couple hours?
They're just requests from the villagers. I sell them 3 coppers each.
Oh,
They don't know that it has magic on them.
I'll pull some gold out of my purse. We'll pay for it.
For what? The tackles?
No, the breathing thing.
Make a persuasion roll, sorry.
Let's go.
Can Rami assist with a rainbow? I don't know what your persuasion is like.
Well, I rolled a 7.
Okay.
-1 is a 6.
Okay. Well, I can make it, and why can I find the spell? Okay, here you go. Okay. Sure. I can, I guess. Well, it's almost everything I can muster to make this. I know that in some cities they sell scrolls for this, and it's several hundred usually.
Yeah, we don't really have that kind of money on us, unfortunately.
Yeah, you don't look like it.
Rude.
How about we'll see what we find down there, and if you are just a do-gooder, not guilty person, like you say you are, we might give you a cut of whatever we find if we find anything. Also, you know, everybody in the town will be for sure safe again, instead of maybe 2, probably not, because if there were 2 there might be more.
No, the gnome is still very scared. He's trying to figure out something, because you went from interrogating him to threatening him to accusing him to offer to drag him in an isolated place to talk this further, and then to paying him.
His house.
He is going through a lot of emotions right now, and he's trying to figure out, are you all good or not? Can he trust you or not? There's a lot of information for him to put everything together.
And these below 10 charisma rolls aren't helping.
No, you sound so cold when you say this. You basically always have the same monotone voice for everything you said. So he just listens at you, and he doesn't make the difference between you threatening him and you saying that you're gonna be nice. It's the same voice. Exactly the same. Listen, if the village is still in trouble and you can solve it, and you think that I can give you something that'll help you, alright. Alright. Well, I do need a few components. So, how about 20 gold, and I'll go into town and try and figure out everything I need. Buy whatever they have that I can use for this, because I think they have everything, but I'm not sure.
I will give him 20 gold.
Alright.
Nope, that was add, not remove. Hold on. There we go. I will take 20 gold.
Probably no additional information, but with a 12 insight, like how are these gnome words looking? Because there are two things that you can do with 20 gold and you're scared.
Well, it's a bit hard. 12 isn't that high. So I'd say Remy feels a bit mixed up because he can read a lot of different emotions coming from this gnome. From fear to panic to feeling trapped. It's hard to say. You do feel like he is trying to figure a way out of this if everything goes not as best as it could. But you also feel like what he just said was genuine. That he does feel like if you can help the village, it's a good thing. That's about it with 12.
So, with both of his hands free, he makes a rainbow, a double rainbow.
Yeah. A rainy place does feel nice right now. I'll be back. Just give me a moment. And he leaves. He's still clutching something in his pouch very tightly, but he leaves and he looks at all of you while he's leaving again and goes toward the rest of the village. Anva and audience, as you are going back toward the cart with the boat on your head, you do cross the gnome going in the opposite direction.
Okay.
You do feel a bit odd as when he passes by, he just looks at all of you and it just extremely shyly, almost fearfully, it just gives you a small wave and starts walking just a little faster.
Okay. I'll think, that's odd. And I'll keep walking.
Probably hurrying off to morning prayers.
So, of course, the gnome had to go into town, so you'd have enough time to reach Fisher and Remy before the gnomes come back, if he comes back. So, Fisher and Remy, you see Anvara and Audience arriving with a boat on their head. Audience, you really don't see a lot from directly in front of you because your head is half in the boat and you see mostly Anvara's feet. But Anvara, you do see Fisher and Remy near the cart.
He sees my feet. Who's in front? Who's in back of this boat?
Apparently I was in back.
Yeah, I assumed you were like in front of me. Okay.
Oh, well, in that case, you see Audience's backside, but since your head is not firmly stowed at the bottom of the boat to make sure that the other person behind you is capable of easily reaching towards something that gives you a strong hold. You can actually see in front. And audience, well, you just see boat in front of you.
I'd probably be looking at my feet so I don't trip. But
Boats and your feet. And a few rocks on their way. And probably Anvara, you hear audience sort of, 1 stone. Hey, 2 stone.
All right, audience is an actual child.
He has to keep busy.
So where we see the other two, right?
Yeah.
Like we're in proximity. All right. Hey boys, we got the boat.
Cool. We might not need it.
Oh, fantastic!
Y'all also owe me 5 gold each.
why?
Because
I just paid your gnome friend 20, and he is going to get us something that will help y'all breathe underwater.
Why was he acting weird?
I didn't say it was acting weird.
No. Why was the gnome? We passed him. He was acting weird.
Oh, because we may have come on a bit strong. Because he was acting kind of fishy. Also, did you know he was rather magically inclined?
No?
I thought it was comic book gnomes.
Raimi and I were just trying to do some investigative work, but because of the way I come off towards people, he got a little spooked.
From inside of you, Fisher, when you say, because of the way I come off, you hear Taranad say, well, that's one way of putting it.
Audience will mumble, and this is why I do the talking.
Yeah, well, you know,
Maybe
you
just
could
kinda
also do some
dips his
thinking.
head. Just like looking sad.
I can hear someone clicking.
A lot.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just rapid clicking my mouse.
Okay.
Trying to stay awake there, bud?
I may be rapid clicking my mouse.
So for
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason, while all this is going on, audience is tapping on his bracer.
I was actually just constantly rolling die in
Okay.
D&D Beyond.
Definitely done that. Filled the entire
Yeah,
page
yeah.
up with D100s and see what
Yep.
happens.
Yeah. Audience says that Raimi just looks very sad now.
Maybe it looks sad.
He also said it'd take a couple hours.
I still don't know why we wouldn't need the boat. It would still make more sense to take the boat out and then use the water breathing device.
I mean, I didn't say it wouldn't be nice to have. I just say we might not need it.
Mm.
All right.
Also, if we don't need it, it might be better to not risk another person's boat in this village.
I mean, we paid him for it.
Did you? Okay.
We. Excuse me.
The party's money is ours.
I did not agree to communism.
No, you guys should agree to communism. I have the most.
Mhm.
Debatable.
It's probably getting close these days.
All right. So, anything else, or you just keep looking at each other a bit awkwardly with these unfinished sentences of what happened and what
I'm
needs to be?
annoyed with Fisher because I liked Bounty and I'm annoyed that he made him upset.
Okay.
Do you say this?
No.
Okay. I have 9 passive insight.
So for some reason, Fisher, you're not sure why. You just look at audience, and he's more silent than usual. You know, there's silent, he doesn't know what to do. There's silent, he's thinking about the dragons. And there's this silent. And he's looking at you.
How well is Raimi reading this situation? Does he need to make a rainbow to make things better?
Well,
Yeah, so y'all gonna pay me back?
because that helps.
Because, like, I don't need to breathe. I did this for y'all.
All right, we got this boat for the team. You gonna pay me to ride it?
Damn, that was
Like
passive.
I said, we don't need it, but also you didn't. What? How much?
Well,
Like-
I mean, cost me at least let me check my purse. 50 gold just for the insurance. So I mean,
Make a deception roll.
With a 25 stealth, Raimi slips away from this awkward, angry conversation.
Also,
Well,
wait, how
so-
would audience?
my friend, that's a nat 20 -1.
So, all right. So Fisher, you, unless audience says anything, you believe Anvara with a natural 20.
Here's the thing: I rolled a nat 1, but I wasn't actually sure what I was rolling for.
Well, you don't really. I'd say if you're rolling for something, it would be, do I say anything? Because I know that we didn't
Yeah,
pay 50
But
gold.
which way would a nat 1 go for audience in this situation?
just-
That's what I'm
just
trying
go
to figure out.
Okay.
Odds and ends for your decision.
Because he is lawful good and likes honesty, but he also is annoyed with Fisher right now.
Who also is asking you for money.
I think audience will see how this plays out, and then we'll decide what it is.
Thinking of my background, how much would a boat like the one they're holding actually cost?
Probably something like between 20 and 30 gold.
Wow, you really got scammed for that thing.
Okay, now audience would say something. He doesn't want Fisher to think they got scammed. Actually, we only paid 5 gold for insurance. Advara just said we paid 50.
I thought holy people were supposed to be like upfront about things, honest, true to their word.
I may have spent 200 years in the wrong line of work.
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
I can't play good priests.
Audience will
I can't
just
good
walk up and be
priest.
like,
Well
the dragon,
said.
the dragons are so...
Ah, good priests. No.
we accept all.
Yeah.
Anvara is clearly having trouble with everything that is going on right now around her. Her beliefs are being thrown into questions left and right, and you sort of are starting to see why so many human succumbs to these dark impulses. It must be so difficult for them to resist. But, you know, for you, because you're an elf,
I know. Don't worry about it.
because you're an elf and you're so stable in your personality, eventually you do manage to come back to the right path, and usually within the same day. But for human, it must be so hard.
I cannot wait until she takes a longer nap. Oh my god.
The only real reason you were mad at audience for bringing you up with just one lay on hands is so that he didn't just use all of it, so you just die out.
I mean,
Yeah. Meanwhile, like while mom, dad, and uncle are fighting, like the child has wandered off.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
with the
a
roll
real
he
big
made, none of your passive perception allows you to notice that he has slipped
Don't
away.
even notice he's gone. Assume he's still standing right there.
You're just all talking to one another and pointing fingers at you're being dishonest and why did you do this? And meanwhile, Remy just slipped away quietly.
Well, you're being mad at me for being dishonest. Well, you're charging your party for gear essential to survival.
For you guys. I mean, we're a party, right? We split everything evenly. That's how it works.
I see. I see. I kind of see Fisher's point on this one.
I mean, that's how things normally work. If that's not how we're gonna do things, we should probably talk that out.
You know
And
what,
they took
Fisher?
apart the village,
I'll
the
say. You know what, Fisher? Here, I'll give you 10 gold. I'll pay for Anvara this time. She got the boat. Fine. Just
Okay, that I guess give me 8.
no. I gave
because
you
you
10.
paid for the insurance.
I didn't.
Okay, then I guess give.
No, it's fine. I'll give him the full 10 because I'm gonna be an upfront, upstanding member.
5.
No, we each had to pay 5.
5.
I gave him 10. I paid for you. Don't give him anything.
All right.
First they're arguing not to pay, and then they're all arguing on who's gonna pay the most.
So I'm confused now. Like, are they
I
on a
will
date
give-
now?
I give 1 to Anvara for the insurance.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god.
Anvara, for some reason, this kind of stings. 1 gold, 1 hit points.
Hey, she's
Dude, I
just-
wish healing potions gave you 50 health.
Oh, by the way, I will want to point out, Avara, you had like the perfect argument this entire time that you didn't use, which is you literally spent like 150 gold buying us all health potions before this whole thing.
I gave hers back.
Well, yeah, but she never brought that up.
Yeah, no, I was ready for it if she did this.
Alright, so Remy, you slipped away. Are you trying to do something in particular, or did you just want to subtract yourself from this awkward conversation?
Yeah, he subtracted himself from that conversation, and he probably just like wandered back to the inn for a while mommy, daddy, and uncle were having a fight.
Which ones are?
Who's who?
I'm not
I mean, the
listening.
mom has to be on Mara because she's the
Well,
only female.
wow.
Does it?
you assigning gender roles. Excuse me.
That's funny. What I wanted to know was who was daddy and who was uncle.
So
I think
feel
we
like
know
Ramey's
exactly who daddy
referred
is.
to
But anyway,
Fisher and audience as mom and dad before.
Yeah, and Uncle and Vara.
So
Who knows? Who knows?
I think audience. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind.
Say it.
Doesn't
No,
need to go there.
no. To be clear, last session it was because he was repeating what he heard a young child say at one point.
Yes.
So that's not how he actually perceived those two in that moment, but that's exactly how they were acting.
That's all right.
To go against your counter argument to the potions. You may have given me my potion back. I gave you the rogue back.
The rogue?
The bird, Kaka, Raimi.
So while
Oh,
this is
I get it. Okay.
So while this is going on, with the group trying to figure out who owes what to who,
I saved your life this time. Well,
This is the exact conversation he's trying to avoid.
So Remy,
bad
you
we're
go
having it.
back into town, and with your passive perception, you do notice the gnome is still in town. He's going from place to place, and he is eagerly waiting for someone to just finish putting up his own little display of things he was gonna sell. And you do notice that it is someone who makes baskets. And he's just waiting there, and a bit nervously, he's still fidgeting with his hand, rubbing them, and just waiting for that person to finish and finally place it. Because you recognize the signs of a person who is just told, "I'm not open yet," but really needs you to open now. So this is what you see. Do you do anything about it, or do you just keep on going to the inn?
Just like remembering how the poor man was acting, like while they were near him, like he would probably think that he'd be making the situation worse if he was found out that had found him in town. So
Okay.
he is going
watching him.
Yeah, so like that is the exact opposite impression Raimi is trying to put out, despite Fisher's attempts. We'll call them that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And he will actually like go to the inn, but once he's in the inn, though, it's like he did steal something, so. Actually, no. Like specifically, he'll go to his room and just kind of like look at it.
Okay. Make an Arcana roll.
Got this. Okay. 18.
18. So you do recognize this as being part magical, but mostly focusing device. It's just that it can only focus one type of spell. And
I mean, he could make this easier on himself and just identify it.
okay. Of course you could. If you do,
I mean, he knows he has like 2 or 3 hours, to wait, so he could take 10 minutes of his day.
okay. So you work at identifying this, and at the end, you recognize this as, well, it is a magical object usable by artificers. And this particular device helps an artificer cast the spell Fabricate.
That is up there.
Oh, yes.
It's
That
like
is
think
way
about
up
it.
there. Oh shit!
He is much...
So far up there.
He is much more talented than he is letting on. And for you, Remy, with this object in your hand, it becomes excessively obvious. With talents like this, he could be an adventurer that could put to shame some of the people that you met in the garden. And he's just enjoying a simple, normal life.
Yeah, Raimi considers this knowledge just like almost. In fact, he like thinking about it, he kind of has a bit of admiration for the gnome and kind of feels bad. Not that he didn't feel bad before because Fisher's third degree, but
Doing my best.
just like as he's putting the object away, just kind of like nods in admiration. This guy picked his own path.
All right. So with this,
But then also realizes how easily they could have been fucked, precisely because of like what he was seeing, like gripping in his bag. It's like, oh shit, what was he going to do?
he was preparing himself in case he had to do something. All right.
Yeah, and it's like Ray was just like left in like basically in his room, just wondering like, it's like, oh, that's nice. It's like, oh shit, he could have done something.
All right. So, as you are there, finishing this spell, this element of weird object manufactured almost right in front of you, you look out the window and it's only been maybe 10-15 minutes, so you do see the gnome. He's still there. He's not in front of the same place. He's in front of a display which feature maybe more I don't want to say exotic as in weird coming from everywhere, but just a foreign merchant. She's just looking at things in a cart and taking one object, looking at it, and taking another one. You just see him nod toward the person and then hands in a few gold. And on the other side, we have Audience and Anvara and Fisher, who are still caught in their cacophony of, you owe me for this, but I don't owe you for that because of this, and we're even because of that, but don't forget that this happened, so you might actually owe me for this one day. And Fisher, you also hear Taranad chuckles and laugh at some of the things that the others say. And this is where this session is going to end. In chaos.
Vanguard just ends with, do you know how much a resurrection costs, my guy?
I don't plan on dying anytime soon. Mister, I went or Mrs., I went unconscious twice while you're in the open water.
Oh, Jesus.
So, how many spell slots do I get back after a long rest?
All of them.
All of them? Alright.
Audience is now sitting back with his fingers. He's just gonna be like, Anvar, are you gonna take that?
Audience, if you egg me on, we might have some trouble.
All right, so
Raimi comes back. Everybody's just dead.
Raimi's not
bloodbath.
coming back to anything. Like, sees they're still fighting. It's like, you know what? Maybe.
Listen, Audience's way of solving things and conflicts is a good old brawl. He will not go past the point of trying to push Fisher and Anvar to brawl it out and watch while they do.
everything can be solved with a good fist fight.
Let's see if I can like sleight of hand my inflict wounds so it doesn't show.
Jesus
Good
Christ.
luck landing it.
Oh goodness. All right,
We're all
so
friends here.
we end this incredible session with the party in an awkward situation. Who knows? Maybe someone will be playing a new character in future sessions because it sort of looks like players all like one another, but the characters not so much. So we might be in for a change. Just saying. So,
Me and Anvara have settled the hatchet. Now it's just Fisher and Anvara.
I think the big problem is Anvara and herself.
she's having
Fisher
problems.
is having the
A crisis of identity.
Yeah.
it is getting riled up from other sources and it's taking it out.
He has this voice in his head that's just not letting him unwind.
Just tearing out inside, she's like, come on, rest her fucking teeth, do it.
Do it.
Oh,
Yeah, bro,
Terranad,
you got a 35% chance of landing that inflict wound.
Terranad is maybe more subtle. He's probably going to go and give insights on Fisher like, well, she's not wrong on the fact that she healed Remy, but then again, if she'd done a better job and not just run away and hide.
Hide from... hide from what? I was face first this fucking thing the whole fight.
Hey man, that's what it's like arguing with Terranad. It doesn't go anywhere.
It's really a good thing audience didn't get Terranad, because those arguments would never end. Ever.
No, instead you got a small dragon which feels like watching a cat video on YouTube.
That's more audience speed.
Alright, so this is where this session is going to end. When we come back, hopefully everyone will be alive. But who knows about the making of the party? Someone might actually choose to stay home after the quest. So we'll see about this. Thank you for everyone for watching. I hope you found this as entertaining as some of the party member, some of the player have during today's session. So I hope we'll see you all again next Wednesday. And remember, we're still trying to get to this 50 follower mark. So if you know people who might be interested in the channel, just tell them, hey, come see if you like, join. Would mean a lot to me, to us, to everyone. And the more people there are in the chat, the more you have people to talk to and just rant about dumb decisions that some people can make, mistakes that the Dungeon Master made while figuring out this, and the fact that I don't necessarily have a very good acting capacity. I don't know. I'm sure you can find a lot of things to talk about. But that's it. So if you enjoyed the show, support us in any way you can. Following us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You can also make a donation, which is always very appreciated. You can become a Patreon. And you can also, like I said, just spread the word. Make it so that we are even more next session. So, thank you all. Have a good night, day. Depends on where you are right now. Stay safe, and especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, stay healthy. Bye.
Good night.